Hello. The photo on my thumbnail is a picture that my friend took of me on my last day of full-time employment just over a year ago. I sort of semi-retired after that. Did I make the right decision? A year on? Have I regretted it? Let's talk about that later. I'm being brave today in filming outside, but I keep stopping and starting because I'm worried about getting caught. Doing what? Filming myself outside. Anyway, I'll stop in a minute because the stress of somebody coming up behind me and seeing me do this is just too much. So I found a little spot, but there'll probably be people coming by because it's a really busy track and it's such a lovely day. So my name's Debbie, and welcome to my channel. There's a train just about to go by, so hopefully that won't be too noisy. My husband's in a care home and I live on my own. Here comes the train. You might still be able to hear me, I don't know. Anyway, my husband Stuart lives in a care home and I live on my own, and we still have a mortgage. So it's been 10 years now since Stuart's been in a care home, and we lost his income because he was self-employed, and so we've been living on my wages and his benefits. And I thought that I wouldn't be able to retire till I was 67, because in the UK that's when you get your state pension. Also, I was very cautious about retiring because I really didn't know how I was going to cope being on my own a lot. I worked not just for the money, but for the company. I really liked the crowd of people and where I worked. But the last 18 months, 2 years of my work, and I'd worked there for 23 years full time, it had become really difficult. I worked at a university, and universities in the UK are really struggling. So people were leaving and not being replaced, so that meant everybody else was doing their job. There was a lot of tension. It was such a shame because it was such a nice place to work before that. And I just felt old and tired and worn out. My life with Stuart is constant ups and downs with different pressure points and stresses at different times, and I just found myself not being able to cope with things when they cropped up, things that happened with Stuart or at home or at work. So I was really struggling with my mental health as well as my physical health, really. And I just became a slog, thinking that I'd have to go to work until I was 67. So the university were making job cuts, and they offered voluntary severance to about 200 people they wanted to get rid of. So I did some number crunching, never thinking in a million years that I would be able to do it. They sent us a link so that we could work out how much we would get as compensation. I knew that, so I was 59, I knew that I could get my work pension. I have 2 work pensions, which I'm very lucky to have. They're not massive, but they're better than nothing. And I talked to family and friends, and I decided that I thought I could do it. And they were really encouraging. Everybody was really encouraging. It would mean I could spend more time with everybody, have more time for myself, and just be less stressed. So I applied and I got it. So I left work at the end of April last year, and I just felt a massive relief lift off my shoulders. It was amazing. I worked out that with the severance and my pensions, I could probably survive for 3 years, and then I'd have to worry about the next stage later. And I'm prepared to do that. If I have to go back to work part-time or whatever in a couple of years, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, so I've done it. I got my pensions at 60. I also, because I was worried about being on my own and the routine of going to work and things, and if I'd miss it, I decided to do some seasonal work. So I applied for and got exam invigilating at secondary schools near me. So I work for 2 schools, and at the moment it's really busy because we're right in the middle of the GCSEs, which are for sort of 16-year-olds, 15, 16-year-olds in the UK. So I've been working for 3 weeks, not I, not all day, but every day, getting up at 6:30 is quite interesting when you haven't had to do it for a while. But I really enjoy that. I like the team that I'm working with, and it gives me some extra pocket money. So, do I regret it? No, I don't. It's one of the best things I've ever done. I've been able to spend more time with Stuart. I've been able to go to appointments with him without having to juggle work. Work has always been pretty good where Stuart was concerned, but things were getting difficult in the last year, and Stuart seemed to have more appointments, so it was getting quite tricky. So, for example, yesterday I took him to a hospital appointment, and a couple of weeks' time he's got another hospital appointment. He went to the dentist at the beginning of the month, and I was able to take him to those appointments, and that's really good. It's nice to be more part of Stuart's life and know what's going on more, and being able to do that and not rely on the staff at the care home and then waiting for feedback for appointments and what happened and what was the outcome. I'm also spending more time with my grandkids, which is obviously fantastic. I'm able to help my daughter out who works. So my eldest grandson has just started school, so I'm able to help him out during the school holidays, help look after him during the school holidays, which I'm really enjoying. And just being able to help my kids when they need me. My son moved last year, so I was able to help him move out of his flat into his first home that he bought. I was able to help him do that without, worrying about busy times at work when I could take time off, and without using all my leave, because I was always cautious about my leave having days kept back for emergencies. Being able to spend more time with my parents and with my friends. A few of my good friends also left work at the same time, and a few of my older friends have retired early a few years ago, so I'm able to spend more time with them, which is great. So I don't have any regrets, and I can't tell anybody to do the same because everybody's life is very different, but it has worked out for me. And if I have to go back in a couple of years' time to top up my income, I will do. I won't have to go back to work full time. I can get a little part-time job, and I'm quite happy with that. And so I'm seeing this as a bit of a gap year, a bit of a career break for now. So we'll see what happens. But at the moment, a year in, it's been great. I've really enjoyed it. I had a big long list of jobs that I wanted to do, experiences that I wanted to do. Haven't really ticked off my list of jobs around the house. That just seems to be getting longer, so I'm not really very good at that, but I am very good at socialising, meeting with friends and doing stuff with my family, so that's what I enjoy. Stuart gets universal credit and PIP, which are benefits in the UK, and I'm going to talk about that in another video about how we manage that, what we spend it on, what we use it for. The elation I felt in the photo in the thumbnail was really real. I was absolutely for it. I could not wait to leave, which is a good thing, I guess, because it's quite sad if you're forced out of something, or you leave under a cloud. But I left on a high, really, and I've never looked back. So yeah, so I was 60 in August, and life begins at 60. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.